The room was full of people. They waited. Their faces held a common look, a mix of hope and nerves. Suits were pressed, shoes were shined. Everyone wanted to make a good impression. This was a big day for many, a chance for something new, a step towards a dream perhaps. The air itself felt heavy with unspoken prayers and rehearsed answers. Each tick of the clock seemed to echo louder than the last. Among them sat a young woman named Sarah. She was quiet. She watched the others. Some fidgeted with their ties or smoothed their skirts again and again. Sarah held her hands calmly in her lap. She had prepared, yes, but she also knew some things were out of her control. She observed the room, the polished floors, the tall windows letting in the morning light. She found a strange peace in just noticing the small things. The silence in the room was thick, only broken by coughs or the rustle of papers. Some applicants tried to look very confident. They leaned back. They scanned the room with an air of ownership. Others looked down at their feet, lost in their thoughts, or perhaps their worries. The unspoken competition was there. It hung in the air like a fine mist. Everyone felt it. Everyone knew. Only a few would be chosen. Sarah took a slow, deep breath. She tried to quiet the butterflies in her stomach. She believed in herself. She believed in hard work. But more than that, she believed in being true to who she was. Whatever happened today, she would accept it. She would learn from it. Life was a series of moments. This was just one of them. An important one, yes, but still, just one. Then, a small drama unfolded, unnoticed by most. An elderly janitor entered the waiting area. He moved slowly. His back was a little bent. He carried a bucket and a cloth. He began to wipe down a far corner of the room. He seemed to blend into the background. Part of the building, not part of the important business of the day. He worked with a quiet diligence. His movements were practiced, methodical, and weary. Suddenly, a dark stain on the floor caught his attention. It was a large, stubborn coffee spill near a potted plant. He knelt down. He began to scrub. He scrubbed with effort, but the stain barely faded. He sighed, a small, tired sound. He tried a different cleaning agent from his cart. Still, the dark mark remained, a blemish on the otherwise spotless floor. He looked troubled, his brow furrowed with the effort and the lack of success. Sarah watched him. She saw his struggle. She saw the lines of frustration on his face. Other applicants glanced over, then quickly looked away. They had interviews to think about, their clothes to keep pristine. Their focus was forward, on the office doors, not on the man on the floor. He was invisible to them, or perhaps just an inconvenience, a distraction from their own ambitions. Sarah felt a gentle nudge in her heart. It was a simple feeling, a desire to help. She didn't think about her interview, or her neat dress, or what others might think. She rose from her seat. She walked over to the janitor. "May I help you with that?" she asked softly. Her voice was kind. The janitor looked up, surprised. His eyes met hers. He saw no judgment, only sincerity. He nodded a little shyly and handed her a fresh cloth. Together they knelt, Sarah and the janitor, side by side. They worked on the stain. Sarah was not afraid of a little hard work. She scrubbed with a steady rhythm. The janitor pointed to a stronger spray. They tried that. From across the room, other applicants watched. Their eyes held a mixture of reactions. Some looked confused. Why would she do that? Why risk her appearance, her chances? Whispers started to circulate, softly at first, then a little louder. "What is she doing?" one applicant muttered to another. "She'll get her suit dirty." Another one chuckled quietly, trying to impress the wrong people, I think. They judged her actions through the lens of their own ambitions. They saw it as a foolish move, a miscalculation in the game of interviews. They could not understand the simple power of kindness, the quiet dignity of helping another human being. Sarah heard the whispers. She felt the stares, but she did not let them deter her. She focused on the task, on the stubborn coffee stain, on the shared effort with the janitor. It was a small thing, cleaning a floor, but it felt important. It felt right. Patience was needed. The stain was deep. It clung to the polished surface. They dabbed, they scrubbed, they blotted, slowly, methodically. The world of interviews and ambitions faded for a moment. After several minutes of persistent work, the stain began to yield. It grew fainter and fainter, until finally it was gone. The floor shone. The janitor smiled. A genuine warm smile. "Thank you, young lady," he said. His voice was raspy but kind. "Thank you very much." Sarah smiled back. "You're welcome," she replied. She stood up, her knees a little sore, a small smudge on her hand. She felt a quiet sense of satisfaction. She returned to her seat peacefully. The interviews began. Names were called, one by one. Applicants walked into the big office. Some came out smiling, others looked disappointed. Sarah waited. Her turn would come. She felt calm. She had done her best, in more ways than one. She had faced an unexpected test, though she did not know it yet. The waiting continued. The clock on the wall ticked steadily onward, each tick a moment closer to her own call. Finally, the receptionist called her name. "Sarah, they're ready for you." Sarah stood up. She smoothed her skirt. She took a steadying breath. She walked towards the imposing office door. She opened it, and she stopped. Sitting behind the large, polished desk was not the stern-faced manager she had expected. It was the janitor. He wore a well-fitted suit now. His eyes, however, were the same. Kind, observant. He smiled at her. "Please, come in, Sarah," he said. His voice was different now, clearer, more authoritative, yet still gentle. Sarah was speechless for a moment. Understanding began to dawn on her face. "The interview," he continued, gesturing to the chair, "is already over. You passed it, out there in the waiting room, with the coffee stain." He explained. He was the CEO of the company. He believed in silent tests, tests of character, not just of skill. He told her that skills can be taught, experience can be gained, but character? Character was something deeper, something truer. It was about how you treated people, especially when you thought no one important was watching. Her kindness, her willingness to help without hesitation, her patience. These were the qualities he valued most. Sarah listened. Her heart swelled. She understood. True worth wasn't in words or appearances. It was in actions. Small, everyday actions. That spoke volumes. That defined who you truly are.